Hey everyone, welcome back to Design Patterns with Ashwin. And today what we're going to be doing is the creational design patterns, namely the Singleton. Okay, so let's get started with that. Now you might ask why or when will I need to use a Singleton? So basically the idea is whatever you would want as a, let's say, global variable, one object that you can use throughout your application or project that will where you'll never make another object of that class. So in those cases, that's where you have singletons, right? Now, this is also so that, let's say, if you don't do that, let's say you do have an object that can be created, that you do have a class that can have instances created multiple times. What happens is sometimes when you're sharing code or when you're even coming back to your old code again, you may use it in a different way, even though, let's say, originally you didn't intend for anyone to be able to use more than one instance of that class. But if you don't create it as a singleton, then it's very possible that it will be used multiple times. So that's the reason why we would be using singletons. For example, database connections. Many times JDBC connections in Java are created as singletons because you only need to connect to the Java database, any database that you're working with, once. And after that, all you're doing is re-establishing a sort of transactional relationship and going about your transaction, meaning that you take whatever values you need from the database or write to the database. But all in all, you only need one connection. Now, in cases that you might need multiple connections, that could very well be done. Except usually I've seen that database connections, if you're doing it all the way from scratch, not using any sort of framework like Spring or something, then you will be creating it as a single. So you've already heard me talk about the instance. Now, what I mean by the instance is that one particular object that is of that class that you will be using over and over again, or you will be referencing over and over again. And how you reference that is you say get instance. So the get instance method it's a static method, and it'll give you access to that instance. All right, so let's get started, and we'll make a very, very basic singleton. So let's do that quickly. All right, so I've got a couple of these packages already prepared, but I'll go ahead and create a very simple singleton. So let's do that. Okay. So you will see that many a times, if you're in a hurry, you can create this sort of singleton to get started. I will show you a very basic, the most basic implementation of it, and then we'll discuss what its shortcomings or what its advantages are. Alright, so there we go. We have our instance. Now this is obviously private, which means it can't be accessed directly. It's static, meaning that other static objects can directly access it. And also what it means as static is that it is actually a class variable. And then it's final because it won't be changed. That's what that means. And then that's just a basic singleton. Now this is the constructor. By default, every Java class already has a constructor, but we can make our constructor saying Alright folks, there you have it. That is our most basic implementation of a singleton. Now what this means is that this class itself is our singleton. It has an instance of itself, and the constructor is private, which means it'll never be accessed from anywhere outside, right? Which means that you cannot create new objects of this class. Now, unless you use something like reflections and whatnot, don't worry about that. We will come and have a look at how we can deal with those sort of problems later on. But for now, this is your most basic implementation. This can get you ready. And our get instance method is the only one that is public, which means that all you can do is basic in it. You can say basic, how you would call it is, okay, let's make a quick little main program. And I'll say main class. Okay, so how you would call it now is okay, public static void main and string array args, right? Now, the only way you can call it is if you say basic singleton, and obviously I should control shifter. Now, you see, we don't have any other choice, and that's the whole purpose of the singleton. Maybe it'll give you some choices, but most likely you'll have this little get instance, and I'll instantly have get instance. And then what I can do is I can save that as a basic singleton equal, let's call BS, okay. Not BS, BS, okay. That's short for basic singleton. And now, see, the good thing what we can do is we can have these, let's say we'll have another little quick method. We can say public void print, and I can just say this is the only copy of the basic singleton, right? So you see how even if I do bs dot, the only thing I can do, see equals, I can compare it to some object, but you see there's no way for me to make another object of bs, and that's the whole point, that I should not be able to make it. And the only thing I can do is well, get instance will return the instance again, or I can do a print. Can't I? Where's print? There you go. So now if we play this, works normally. The only difference is, again, we can't create another object of it. There you go. Now if you really want to see, so we can say bs dot get hash code, so we can print out the hash code. So let's do that. Let's do sys out and let's create another singleton, basic singleton, let's call it ss, and again basics. If you try to do new basic singleton, this will create an error. You see, you can't do it. You can't make a new object of this type. Otherwise, unless you change the visibility of it, which we don't want to do. So what we can do instead again is get instance. Dot get instance. Now to prove that it is the same object, ideally the hash codes of both of them should be the same, right? Both objects, both ss and bs, should have the same hash code. There you go. Can you see that? If you can't, what I should do really actually, and this will be for all future videos, I'll quickly make the size of this all bigger. Right. Java, let's go ahead and create. So this is for those who want to make it bigger, can quickly do that. I want to make the editor size bigger so that you guys can see better. Edit that. 16 maybe. Yeah, that looks alright. And I think edit. And now our editor, that would be in debug. Console font. and we can make that 16, right? Let's go ahead and do that and see whether, okay, much clearer for you guys, I guess. So there we go, that is our test for our singleton, and that was our most basic singleton for you. All right, I'll probably create a new package and dump it all in there. Dot basic. Oops. Yep, update them. So there we have it now. Okay, so what are the issues with this? Now, some of the issues that I can see directly with the basic instances, what if we have an error here, right? Let's say our get instance was doing a little, not get instance, sorry, but let's say basic singleton was doing a little few more things, maybe doing a bit of logging and, you know, whatever, so logger dot whatever, get logger and all that. Maybe it was doing something like that. Now, in case this method wasn't empty, this will most likely be error prone, right? The problem is we're not catching the error here. This is eager initialization. Normally we don't want to do any sort of eager initialization. We should stick to some sort of lazy initialization, meaning that we only create the object or the instance when the first time this the get instance is called. No other time should this be created, and here it's being created statically straight away. So it's being created straight away, and that's not a good thing, because here we can't catch any errors. So if this causes an error, our entire application breaks down. We want to do some sort of lazy evaluation or lazy initialization. So we will have a look at that most likely in the next video. The next few videos are going to be about singletons. I will continue going through multiple variations of how we can create singletons and what the pros and cons of each are. Alright, so that'll be it for now, guys. Thanks for listening. Drop a like below if you like these videos, and be sure to check out the next in the series. Thank you so much. This is Ashwin, signing off.